Or they try to.
Welcome to this segment of Pittsburgh Business Virgin. I'm Brad Hilbert, host of Pittsburgh Business Virgin, president of Three Rivers Wealth Management Group. Really happy today to have the one and only Brian Klaus. And we're not doing sports radio today, right, Brian?
Not today. Not today.
You're not going to be giving anybody some recommendations on their what do you call that?
Fantasy football?
Fantasy football. No fantasy football
that's
today.
That's afterwards.
All right, stay tuned. Extra segment for Brian to talk about fantasy football. We're really happy today to have Jason Saunders of Metal Photo Services Incorporated out of Wall, PA, and he is the president and owner. And evidently a victim like me. Work with your wife.
Yes.
Your wife nicer than mine though to you at work? Careful
no.
how you answer this.
No. I can blatantly answer that no.
Anyway, owner of Metal Photo Services, really niche business, and I think folks watching this interview are going to have a real interest in what you do, and hopefully even utilize your services for their businesses as well. So with that, let's jump into it.
Well, Jason, you have an interesting way that you got into the business. If you take a minute and maybe share that story and maybe share some of the pros, some of the cons to the way that you got into the business.
Okay. I started out in the printing industry. I've been running printing presses for over 20 years now. I'm 34, so I started when I was 14. My work history is not illustrious at all. I can wash dishes really good, and I can run a printing press. Those are the two jobs that I've held down. So back in probably '97, I started working for Metal Photo Service
As an employee.
Running the printing press. They kind of built a printing business up around me, still while doing the metal photo. Metal photo has been around since 1954. I'm the third owner. The previous owner owned it for 19 or 20 years. I was with him for 14 of those before I bought the business. So he kind of built the printing up around me. Over the last 5 years, while I was with him, we kind of knew that I was going to buy the business. It was almost inferred that I was they didn't have any kids.
The heir apparent.
Yeah, and I was the heir apparent. So from that point, he kind of molded me into the business owner, meeting the customers, going on sales calls, the whole way to doing payroll, doing the taxes, pretty much everything, so that whenever January 1st, 2000...
You got an on-the-job MBA.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Yeah.
I did. And I'm very thankful for him. I can give him a plug. His name's Ken McCombs. Him and his wife owned it, so now my wife and myself are running the place, and so it's a family business.
Nice, neat. When you look at the business, tell us a little bit about what you do, because the whole concept of metal photo is kind of interesting. And who utilizes you for the services?
Well, metal photo is, without getting too technical, it's a photosensitive aluminum. So we can take any newspaper article, any photo, pretty much anything that you want, and we put it into metal, whether that is for a plaque or award or an industrial tag. Everything that we do goes from the commercial industrial side to the consumer side.
Neat. And when you look at when you were, so this business has been around for, 60, almost 60 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were sort of the heir apparent. How were you, because there's a lot of people out there that are sitting there as employees, sort of the 9-to-5 person, making a wage. How were you able to make that happen as far as buying a business? Because that's not, a lot of people are sitting out there who's 9-to-5 going, listen, I'm 9-to-5, I'm paying the bills. I don't know if I could exactly buy the business that I work for.
Yeah. I think I expressed an interest to Ken very early on that I that's something that I wanted to do. And whenever him and his wife were ready, to maybe ask me. And I think that's what happened. I think it has to be your mental, your mental state, your thought. I don't know that everybody's suited for it.
Yeah.
I mean, the people that I have working for me right now, I don't know that they would want to own the business.
Yeah.
Because of the responsibility.
Yeah.
So I expressed that early
What were
on.
you able to do with the former owner, though, from the standpoint of making a deal happen? Just pay him out over some years. I mean, I'm not looking for the gritty details of how much and how, but you figured out how to
He
pay
has
the bills and get him a check.
He knows how I am. He knows me very well, and that being said, he actually owner financed the purchase of the business.
Nice.
Which shows, the faith that he has in me.
And worst case scenario for him,
he gets the business back.
He gets the business back if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it was a very, very nice situation.
So I think that's for the people that are watching this film, this interview. I think it's very important, or listening to the interview. It's very important for you to understand if it's something that you truly want and desire, you can make it happen. You just have to figure out what the right deal is and figure out how to make that deal happen.
Definitely.
And if you've got a willing seller, a owner that has a lot of faith and understands what your capabilities are, you'll make it happen. If both are really desiring to make it happen.
Here, let me get one in.
Yep.
We're coming up on time here for this segment, but it sounds very positive. Everything, the way you're describing it. Give us one drawback or something you might want to change about the way the process went in the transition.
Oh, the bankers. The bankers were very tough to deal with.
Okay.
It took us over a year because I had to take over an existing loan. Every banker wanted to put me through SBA and treat it as a startup. It truly wasn't a startup because I had been there for 14 years. Existing business. They didn't want any risk, and it took forever for us to find a banker to take that on. Finally, First Niagara did, and I truly believe it was just because they were new to the area and being aggressive.
Sure.
They wanted the business.
I don't think if it were coming up on January 1st, 2012, that they would take it on.
Yeah.
Just because they're in the area established. But I think all businesses like that.
But that's important. That's important for people. I think that's another good lesson that we're teaching people in this conversation is that even though you might have an established business that you're taking over, a lot of the other professionals that you'll be interacting with, bankers, what have you, they're looking at it like you just opened the door.
Yeah, you might as well have just open the door.
All right, we're going to wrap there on this first segment. Great stuff. We're here with Jason Saunders of Metal Photo Services Incorporated. If you want to get a hold of them out of Wall, PA, get a hold of them on their main number, 412-829-2992. You can also look them up at www.mtlphoto.com. We'll be right back with Jason.